call him boss nigga.
They rode into a white man's town. Bringing black man's law. He's black. He's brutal. He's boss.
Yo, what up, dog? Welcome to Race, Religion, Politics, Almost Daily Newscast. I'm your host, Detroit Boss 313. Click, share, subscribe, hit the bell. That way you know when we live and then when these new videos come up. Primarily on the channel, this is going to be more of a deep dive format for the uploaded videos, and then, you know, the lives that you're all used to, where everybody can join. We can have these conversations and discuss these topics. But we do have to be educated about the things that's going on in this country. And so this is more so the format of what we're doing here. We're going to do like a look. We'll take a look into the 2026 midterms. If you look around and see who the loud people in the room, you would think the GOP was in the driver's seat. But when you look at the data and the things that have been going on over the past year, and also the reaction from this administration, it's a very different picture. I'm here to make a case that the Democrats, well, it's going to be a Democratic takeover in 2026. Let's get the screen up. Okay, so first off, we got like the national mood. And so here, if we look at Harris poll, Democrats have an 8-point lead on the generic ballot. And then if we look at the things that's going on with ICE and CBP, 57% of voters said that they're just going too far. Like, me personally, my personal political view on immigration, I'm not pro-immigration. I'm definitely not pro-illegal immigration, but I could have those views and still be pro-humanity. They're doing things in a manner that I feel is just a setup for having a damn near a police state. It's like they're trying to normalize federal violence against people. And then if we root for it for the immigrants, but then we see how it pivots over to the people that's protesting, the citizens. And what happens next year? What happens the year after that? These things, we get used to these things and these things get worse. It's a slippery slope. And the thing is, people see this and they inherently feel that this is incorrect. Like the federal government should not be physically violent, mistreating people, especially, you know what I'm saying, people at work or going to school, going to churches. It shouldn't be a thing that occurs. And so 57% of the voters agree. From what I understand, they say 30% of the voting electorate is MAGA. So that means everybody else disagrees with them. And so they think their hardline stance is a winner, but the methods that they're using are alienating the middle. When you use the center, like on your signature issue, because that's what he campaigned on, if you lose the center on your signature issue, you're in a lot of trouble. This is a massive opening for Democrats. And the thing is that they should be discussing civil liberties, and competent governance. Like, these are ways the Democrats can get in order to make sure that we win this upcoming election. Then we got things like Spanberger. Now, this is a proof of concept. Abigail Spanberger, she flipped Virginia. She won by 15.36%. A landslide margin and the largest gubernatorial percentage margin since 2009. Democrats won all 3 statewide executive offices and a trifecta in the Virginia's government for the first time since 2019. She ran on protecting the state's economy from federal overreach and mass layoffs. She proved that in a swing state, you know, kitchen table stability. You know, you go to remember they say go to the kitchen table, you know what I'm saying, economics. This beats the culture war every time. The thing is like, if we're in a situation where the GOP's thing is hate immigrants, hate transsexual people, hate black people, own the libs. That don't make your life better. But if Democrats can make a case that I can make your life better economically, make the environment better, more civil liberties, even for people who you may disagree with, I think they got a very good chance at moving forward in victory, you know what I'm saying, for the midterms. And so next, let's check out. I had it up earlier. Hold on. Jersey. It was a landslide. Mikie Sherrill, she won by a margin of 445,000 votes. When you look at the exit polls, 7% of 2024 Trump voters switched to Sherrill in 2025. For cult members, that's a massive defection. Like it wasn't just Democrats showing up, it was Republicans and independents saying that's enough. When you see a 7-point swing from a fucking MAGA cult in 1 year, man, that's a collapse. Like that's not a trend. Like when they were saying that mandate before, even though they barely won each state and barely won the general, this appears to be a mandate. We're flipping MAGA cultists, 7% over to what just makes sense. Now what we're experiencing now is somewhat of a quiet revolution. Uh, I don't know why we don't see these things being discussed on a regular basis, like, you know, CNN, MSNBC, or MS Now or whatever. But the data's here. In 2025, Democrats flipped 21% of GOP-held legislative seats. That means we're holding our seats and we're taking theirs. When they had the 2017 blue wave, these numbers are higher. Gained 25 seats, broke super majorities in Iowa and Mississippi. The momentum isn't just at the top, it's at the roots in the state houses. And the thing is like all these things are important because usually people go out and vote like just for the generals. We got to vote in the generals, we got to vote in the midterms, we got to vote in the states because all these things come together and they paint a bigger picture. And then we also got to look at like the desperation and see there's a desperation going on in the Trump administration. It's an AJC article I want to show you, but I'm not, it's behind a paywall. But there's a Fulton County raid. On January 28th, the FBI raided the Fulton County election hub. They didn't just look around. They see 700 boxes of physical 2020 ballots, tabulator tapes, and voter rolls. They took custody of ballots from 5 years ago. They're breaking court-ordered seals. County officials were on the scene challenging the legality of the warrant, but this is a clear move to manufacture a fraud narrative to justify interfering in the next election. They only seize old ballots when they're scared of what the new ones are going to look like. They're going to go through this stuff, create this narrative, or create evidence to support an already disproven narrative that the election was stolen. But they're going to use this in order to create hoops for people to jump through in the upcoming election. And the thing is it's going to put us in a situation where we have to get out there and vote. Sitting on the couch not going to work this time. Now, if we go over to, let's see here, one moment. Let me get it on screen. Now, if we go over to here. Now, this is a situation where it's getting a little more aggressive, right? Attorney General Pam Bondi, she's suing 24 states to force them to hand over sensitive voter rolls. And so, like, if we go to Minnesota, she recently wrote a letter to Minnesota Governor Tim Walz pushing him to surrender the state's voter rolls as part of an exchange for the administration calling off its dangerous deployment of ICE and CBP officers and agents to Minneapolis. Basically, it's saying, hey, we over here and we doing all this stuff for supposed what's best for the country and to get the illegals out. And we have to go this far as killing citizens because these guys are domestic terrorists. But we'll forget all of that if you just give us the voter rolls. It's showing what the goal is. They want to muddy the waters to steal the upcoming election. And I mean, this is documented evidence. These are the worst criminals that exist because they do everything out in the public. And so, like basically, it's a situation where they're looking for data, like to fuel like mass voter purges before the midterms. If you go back and look at the election, the presidential election that he won, they did a lot of little funny business. They found a lot of reasons to take voters off the rolls for like misspelled names, like very small little errors. And those little things helped them get over the line in the last election. If you didn't, I'm not gonna say they didn't win by getting more people to vote, but it definitely helped that they got people votes like not counted due to these small technical errors. And what they're trying to do is the same thing moving forward because it worked for them the last time. Now, there's also a Washington Post article. It's paywalled also, so I can't show it to you. But he had a recent interview, and on direct quote on Bongino's show, Trump said Republicans should nationalize the voting in at least 15 places. He specifically targeted 15 places, mostly blue cities and swing states, and said the GOP needs to take over. This is a direct attack on the Constitution. The Constitution gives states the power to run elections. It's the ultimate sign that they want to change it from the states running the elections to nationalizing it. They don't think they can win on a level playing ground. Now, if we go back, get the article back up. Now, if we go back to, that's the paywall, the SAVE Act. It's another tactic that they're using. They want to limit the vote. And so one of the things they're doing is the SAVE Act, where they basically, you have to prove your citizenship instead of them having to prove your citizenship. So it's like every citizen is like guilty of not being a citizen until you prove differently. It's going to require like a real ID, a passport, birth certificate. If you don't have these things, you're going to be in a situation where you're not going to be able to vote. And just some of the numbers is that 9% of citizens of voting age, or 21.3 million people, they don't have the documents readily available to prove their citizenship. Because it's not a thing in America that we normally have to do, is going around proving that we're United States citizens. And so the thing is that it's going to affect married women whose last names have changed and don't match their birth certificate. It's going to create a paperwork wall for anyone who has changed their name, rural voters who don't have passports. It's a targeted strike on specific demographics to make the active voting as hard as possible. What it is they want to disenfranchise the Black vote. But what they don't realize is they're going to disenfranchise some of their voting area also. So even if you have white women who've changed their name and it don't match their birth certificate, that's part of their demographic also. The rural voters, those are mostly Republican voters. And so the thing is, like, they're working so hard to disenfranchise Black people, they're going to disenfranchise some of their populace as well. Okay, so we got the Texas mandate. Oh. See, like when people actually get out there and go to vote, you can see what happens. Last Saturday, Christian Menifree won the Texas 18th runout with 68% of the vote. He ran explicitly on a platform of investigating the administration's overreach. He won by 70% in a major Texas hub showing that the base is energized. The shows the base is energized. The victory also cuts the GOP House majority to just 218 to 214. They're one mistake away from losing the House even before November starts. The nonpartisan experts have seen enough. The Cook political report just shifted 18 House seats towards Democrats. They know that Democratic challengers are outraising GOP incumbents 3-1. When the most respected name in election data says the path is wider than ever for Democrats, the GOP is officially running scared. It's a situation where they've done enough fucking up, and the conditions are there for us to take back the House and the Senate during the midterms. This will put Trump in a lame duck status, and all this executive overreach will have an opportunity to actually stop it. Right now, he's doing whatever he wants to do, and the Republicans ain't doing nothing about it because they don't even respect their part of the check and balance in this government. And so it's a situation where we have to have it. If not, it's just a runaway fucking Stephen Miller train. And because that's my personal opinion, I think Stephen Miller running the goddamn show. Look, we got raids, lawsuits, we got national in the vote, and these are the moves. These are not the moves of a party that's winning. These are the moves of an administration that sees a blue wave coming, and they're trying to build a wall against it. Let me know in the comments which of these is the biggest deal. Is a 7% shift in Jersey, the FBI season ballots in Georgia? Let me know. Detroit Boss, I'm your host for Race, Religion, Politics, and I'll see you almost daily. I might see you tomorrow, I might not, but it's going to be almost daily. You guys take care and have a great night.
Breaking barriers, shattering silence, telling the truth the mainstream won't touch. From global power plays to street-level battles. From faith that moves mountains to policies that divide nations. From racial reckonings, shaking the foundations to the fights that hit closest to home. The world is on fire, and we're not here to whisper about it. This is the raw, real, no-holds-barred breakdown you won't get anywhere else. Welcome to Race, Religion, Politics, hosted by Detroit Boss 313.